Hello and welcome back to the Intuitive Strength Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're listening on the podcast, welcome. If you are on YouTube, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. If you are new here, hello, my name is Bri Ogletree. I'm a virtual fitness trainer teaching everyday people how to make fitness work for them and their unique lifestyles so that they can reach their body goals. Today, we are taking a break from nutrition. So if you have been listening for the last few weeks, I was diving really heavy into nutrition for maybe the last 8 weeks or so. We're going to talk about exercise again today, giving nutrition a little bit of a break. So today's topic is why doing less exercise is going to get you better results. We're going to talk about why more isn't always necessarily better. We're going to talk about the minimum effective dose concept and how to apply it to your exercise or your workout routine. And then I'm going to give you some action items on how to use the minimum effective dose concept in your workout plans and your exercise regimen in your everyday life. Be sure to subscribe and hit the like button if you're on YouTube to help out my channel, help out my show, and to see more videos and content just like this. There's this common mentality in the fitness industry, in diet culture, in the culture within the United States that more is always better. And we're going to talk about why that may not be the case when it comes to your exercise today. So I'm going to start with some personal experience with this. I fell into this mentality in the middle of my fitness journey. I've been, exercising, lifting, doing intentional exercise for almost 18 years now. And I fell into this mentality, especially in college, when I was trying to drop some of the weight that I had gained freshman year. Definitely gained like freshman 15, freshman 20. I definitely put on a good amount of weight going into college. I was always chasing the calories. I was always working out for the sake of burning calories, for the sake of eating my food. So my exercise was very much tied to my food choices and what I chose to eat either that day or in general. And it led to a cycle of restriction and binging when it came to eating. And it also led to a lot of excessive exercise, a lot of binging and restriction. So I definitely fell into this mentality where I thought that the more I exercised and the more I restricted what I was eating, the better results I was going to get. So what ended up happening was I did 2+ hours of cardio sessions followed by maybe like 30 to 45 minutes of weight training. I would do workout programs like P90X, but then like go for a run. So I ended up doing a lot of excessive exercise, which ended up affecting how I felt mentally, physically. It affected my relationship with food. So my relationship with food was very much tied to the amount of exercise I did that day. So if I didn't do a lot of exercise, like my 2+ hour sessions of working out, then I would either really try to restrict what I was eating, or I wouldn't eat the foods I enjoyed until I had those really intense long, excessive workout sessions. So that led me into a cycle of binging and restricting food, and a really negative relationship with food. That mentality itself. And what I learned, after like a year or two plus of going through this cycle of binging and restriction and excessive exercise, it was very unsustainable. I would maybe see results. I did end up losing weight, but my mentality when it came to exercise and nutrition was very, very negative. They had negative associations with each other. My mentality when it came to food, things were considered or deemed bad, or they were considered rewards for exercising. So moving away from that mentality of more exercise is better is only going to serve you in the long term, right? Like I said, in my experience, I learned that it was very unsustainable to have 2+ hours of cardio and, lifting weights as my sessions most days of the week. That's just something that I couldn't keep up with, not only physically, but mentally as well. And then within my schedule too. Once I started to work full time, I realized that that was not a sustainable approach to working out, right? So I needed to figure out different ways to still reach or maintain my goals, but in a way more sustainable way that was going to fit into my lifestyle. And once I kind of figured out that mix of, I had some nutrition education, learned, what foods are going to fuel my body, forms of exercises and different types of, exercises when it comes to lifting are most effective for training. Once I learned those tidbits of things and, started training people as well, my relationship with exercise and food definitely improved a lot. And my binging decreased. I had less anxiety when it came to exercise and food. And then I was able to maintain those activity levels because I wasn't beating myself up every time I went went to do a workout. I was able to recover better because I was prioritizing recovery. Yes, I was still training hard in my sessions, but I was allowing myself time to recover. And surprisingly, doing that led to better results. I was getting stronger, I was moving faster, and I still was able to maintain the physical results that I was looking for as well. So I am personally here to tell you from, my own story and my own testimony that you do not have to beat yourself up every time you go to the gym. You don't have to exercise for 2+ hours every training session in order to see results. And we're going to talk about what we can do to avoid that mentality of go hard or go home and adopt a more sustainable mentality and a more doable mentality for the long term. So during my own fitness and nutrition journey, I learned that beating yourself into the ground is not a requirement to see results. Yes, we want to work hard, but we want to do it in a smart way. So today we're going to talk about a concept called the minimum effective dose of exercise, which essentially is just saying that we're doing just enough to get the results that we want to get. So not doing anything extra, doing pretty much the minimum of exercise required to get the results that you're looking for. And I love this concept because it really takes into account that recovery aspect and that recovery factor when it comes to training that a lot of people tend to overlook. Recovery is a huge part of your results. And when we, don't think about recovery when it comes to not only resting your body and giving it time to adjust and to adapt to the training that you're doing or the workouts that you're doing, not only physically, so letting your body rest from the training that you're doing and the workouts that you're doing, but mentally, so mentally stepping away from working out is also really, really good for your results as well because you're getting that mental break. And then nutrition as well, taking into consideration the fact that what you're eating is going to help you recover from your workouts and it's also going to help you fuel your workouts. I think a lot of times those things are really overlooked, and especially in diet culture in the United States, there's this mentality of just burning calories, right? We want to burn as many calories as we can in order to get the results that we want. But I think stepping away from this and approaching exercise from that minimum effective dose mindset helps you factor that into your training. So recovery becomes an integral part of your training versus you just trying to chase calories and, undo, quote unquote, some of the things you may have done over the weekend, like, eating some foods that are yummy, but maybe more in calories. It helps you step away from that and make more informed choices so that you can feel good while you're working out and also while you're recovering from your workouts. The minimum dose effect, or the minimum effective dose, also is a more sustainable approach to exercise, because when we're not beating ourselves into the ground, every single workout, we are more willing and more able to show up for the next session, right? And that is really good for long-term consistency and long-term results, because if we keep showing up, small changes over time are going to lead to big results. When we're not beating ourselves up every single training session, we're more likely to show up to each training session, which again compounds on itself, and that's going to get you closer to whatever your fitness goal is, whether that's weight loss, fat loss, putting on muscle. We want to stay in the game as long as possible. And I think that the go hard or go home mentality more often than not takes us out of that game of staying consistent, right? Because we can't operate, we can't work out, we can't train, to the max every single session. So when we're working out just enough to, see the results that we want to see, we're going to show up over and over again, and that's going to play a huge role in our long-term results. So what does the minimum effective dose look like, right? Well, it's going to vary from person to person depending on what their fitness goals are, but it can be as simple as just auditing your weekly schedule. What do you actually have time for, right? Auditing your schedule and figuring out where you can fit workouts into your already existing schedule and routine. I know you're busy, we're all busy. That's a good place to start. We want to be able to fit our routine into what we're already doing because, again, we're more likely to stick to it if we know for a fact we can fit it into our already busy schedule. There's a lot of programs out there that expect people to conform to whatever amount of exercise is in the program, right? And I personally, as a trainer, don't think that that's sustainable for a lot of people. We need to look specifically individually at your schedule and figure out where we can actually fit in exercise. And then from there we can create a effective program that is in line with your goals, but is also in line with your schedule so that you are more likely to keep showing up and doing the work so that you can get the results that you're looking to get. So in my free resource, the Train Like a Pro cheat sheet, I walk you step by step through this to help you figure out how much time you have to dedicate to your actual training. I also walk you step by step through how to actually create a plan that's going to work for your schedule and it's going to be in line with your goals. So if you're interested in that resource, it's going to be in the description box. It's going to be in the show notes below where you're listening or watching this show. Definitely make sure that you grab that so that you can figure out, a good solid plan for you and that one that is in line with the fitness goals that you have for yourself. I think that when we do align our workouts and we do fit our workouts into our existing schedule, this is a more sustainable way to achieve what we're trying to achieve and get what we want to get out of our fitness goals and routines, right? It's all about working smarter and not harder. We don't want to just, go through the motions. We want to make sure what we're doing is going to get us closer to our goals and is something that is actually doable for our lifestyle. So approaching exercise with the minimum effective dose is also better for recovery. Feeling beat up after every single workout session is not a requirement for progress. I'll repeat, feeling beat up after every training session is not a requirement to see progress. And it's not a good indicator of progress either. We can have a good training session that fits in our schedule, that works towards our goals, and we can walk away, feeling energized. We can walk away feeling good, like we accomplished something, but we don't have to walk away feeling like we just got dragged through the mud, right? And again, that goes back to that go hard or go home mentality that is often baked into, fitness messaging in the United States, at least. I can only speak for the United States because this is where I live. We can have training sessions that are productive, that are effective, that don't beat us up. And that goes back to, again, planning your training and making sure it's in line with your goals and picking exercises and, workouts that are, again, in line with your goals and that cut the fluff almost. Like you're not just doing random exercises just to do the exercises, just to get an extra burn, right? Every exercise has its place. It has its purpose for why it's in the training session. And hopefully that purpose leads back to your fitness goals. When we do it that way, when we simplify our training and we cut the fluff and cut the extra, movement and exercises and really focus on movement that is going to help us move, look, feel better, we're able to recover better and we're able to focus on recovery and we're able to show up fresh for the next training session, right? We're able to keep showing up. So better recovery is just going to help you keep showing up and it's also going to help prevent injury for the most part. It's more likely to prevent injury because you're allowing yourself time to recover and adapt to your training. So to recap, the minimum effective dose of exercise is doing just the right amount of exercise to get the results that you're looking for. It's a more sustainable approach. You are more likely to show up consistently over the long term, which is going to get you closer to your results. And it's going to help you recover better because you're able to prioritize your recovery. We're not doing extra, sets and reps and workouts and, just out there just trying to burn calories. Every exercise is going to have a purpose. Every workout's going to have a purpose. And then we can prioritize eating well, eating to recover and to fuel our training. And we can go into every training session fresh. Go into most training sessions feeling recovered, feeling fresh and ready to go and push ourselves to work hard, but not to beat ourselves into the ground with every training session. So here are your action items from this episode today. So the first thing is going to be to, if you currently have a training plan or you have a workout regimen, to see how you can simplify your sessions and really focus on things like compound exercises or compound lifts if you are lifting weights. Focusing on those, so things like squatting, deadlifting, upper body push, upper body pull exercises instead of, isolation exercises like bicep curls, tricep curls. Focusing more on the compound lifts will give you more of a bang for your buck. It'll reduce your training time and it's more effective overall because your body is a system. It works together, right? All muscle groups work together. So the more exercises that we do where we're using multiple muscle groups, the better you're going to move and feel and the stronger you're going to be overall. Focusing on those, maybe incorporating HIIT. So if you do have like a fat loss goal, if you're looking to train cardiovascular wise, HIIT training is great for that, and it's time effective as well. And again, cut out the fluff, cut out the extra exercises. Try to avoid or walk away from, just chasing calories in the gym. Go to the gym with intention. Go to the gym with a plan and make sure that every exercise that you're doing or every workout that you're doing serves a purpose, and hopefully that purpose is in line with your goals. If you're not sure how to put a training plan together, again, I have the free Train Like a Pro cheat sheet. It'll walk you step by step through how to do exactly that. So you can grab that in the description box below or in the show notes below. Your next action item is to incorporate more lower intensity movement. This is also something that is often overlooked. So instead of doing like tons of HIIT sessions, so say your goal is fat loss or weight loss, for example, incorporating more lower intensity movement. So this can be something like walking, yoga, chores around the house. That is a form of movement, a form of physical activity, and it's lower intensity, but you're still, moving and getting movement in. And then you also want to align your nutrition with your fitness goals. So nutrition and fitness go hand in hand. So if your goal is something like weight loss or fat loss, we want to make sure that we are maintaining a deficit, right? A deficit in calories. So taking in less calories than your body is actually using or expending. And we can do this with a combination of exercise and and what you're eating and nutrition, right? I think the best way to do it is to combine the two. So that way we're not doing excessive exercise and we're not in an extreme, caloric deficit. Kind of like the sweet spot between the two, which I think is the best way to approach fitness and nutrition. And the last action item on the list is to prioritize recovery. This goes back to if you are a person that loves to just be on the go, you like to move, you like to exercise, then this would be a great time to focus on those lower activity or those lower intensity movements like walking, maybe going on a leisure bike ride, something like that, so that you can stay moving, but it is lower intensity, so it's not going to add to the fatigue that you've already had from your more intense training sessions. And to just remember that recovery is where the magic happens, right? It's where you're getting all your adaptations. It's where your body is actually changing. We beat our bodies down a little bit in the gym, not extremely, but the goal is to break our bodies down a little bit in the gym so that we can build them up a little bit better. So recovery is a huge part of that, and just make sure that you are prioritizing your recovery. All right, that's going to be it for this episode. Let me know what questions that you have either in the comment box below, or you can send me a voice memo if you're listening through the podcast. Either way, thank you for watching and listening. Please be sure to like this episode if you're on YouTube, and please be sure to subscribe to help out the show. It really does help me out as, a trainer, as a podcaster, as a YouTuber. It's greatly appreciated. Lastly, make sure you grab your free resource below. Let me teach you how to put together a effective, results-driven, and doable plan for you so that you can get the results that you're looking for in the gym. All right, that's going to be it this week. I will talk to you next week. Have a good week. Bye.